What's up, you guys? Zoeb here from OneGlassTrader.com, and I'm super excited because it's finally here, the OGT Zone Recovery EA version 1. Now, you guys have been asking me, and I'm really sorry, I was meant to get this out last week, but we had some bugs, but we've got those bugs fixed now, and I'm happy that you can download your version absolutely free. Link is in the description. And I've got another surprise for you guys. For the first time ever on the OGT YouTube channel, I've got a special guest. His name is Alistair, and he is, part of the OGT community. So he started following me a couple of months ago. He reached out, and for his way to give back to me and to the community, he was offering out his coding services absolutely free. So we got to talking, and it was around the same time I was doing the zone recovery journal, and we thought, why not build our very own version of the Zone Recovery EA? And I cannot thank him enough for making this EA in his own time, absolutely free, not only for me but for you guys as well. So to show your appreciation, I really hope that you give this video a like, and by doing a thumbs up, and sharing it amongst your other traders that you guys are obviously in conversations with. Now, what me and Alistair go through in this video, we go through the input settings, and as with the Zone Recovery EA that I used in my journal, and I'll link to that journal in the top right corner and in the description, that EA has two modes. So it has a manual mode, which is what I did the journal on, and it has an automated mode, so you can do it completely hands off. It has a few trading strategies in the EA that I used in the journal, and what we did was we utilized the Rsi Mtf indicator is inbuilt into this EA, so you can trade the Rsi Mtf indicator. So when you've got a single or multiple time frames overbought or oversold, when it comes out of overbought and oversold territory, it will take the trade and then manage the trade based on your recovery size, take profit, hedging, take profit, etc., etc. So, and then what he's also going to show you, he's going to show you a back test of the RSI, MTF indicator in action, so you guys can see not only what happens. We didn't cherry pick, we just did the Euro USD, from January to September. And you can see where it gets into trouble as well. So again, with any system, especially this type of system, that you don't have to put it on martingale, but there's an option, and we put it on a martingale just to really stress test the actual system. It does bring in profit consistently, but there are times where if the market is ranging or not very volatile, it will produce a number of trades, which again can eat up your margin. So you've got to bear that in mind. So please trade it on demo, trade it with caution. Again, that's enough of me talking. We're now going to head over to myself and Alistair on a pre-recorded Zoom that goes through all the detail. And again, link is in the description, but please watch the video because it goes through all the input settings, our kind of view on how to kind of, the optimize settings from our perspective. And what we also like to do is Alistair's going to get involved in the comments. If you guys got any questions, I'll get involved. But what we really want to hear from you guys is additional automated strategies that we can plug into this system, because this system is effectively a money management system. So we can put any trading rules in there and kind of trade those, so we don't really have to get involved. And what we're looking for is identifying high areas of volatility. And again, we talk about a couple of those kind of ideas we've got. We'd like to release different versions of this quite frequently, 1 or 2 a month, of not only our own ideas of trading strategies that we can build into this money management system, but also your trading ideas. So please leave those, drop me an email, oneglasstrader@gmail.com, or put your comments in the inside the box below, and let's get to it.
Okay, so great to be here. So yeah, we've got the, I've made the OGT Zone Recovery for everybody to have a look at and use. So I'll just bring that up now, and we can go through what you can do with it. So at the moment it's quite basic, and I'm sure we'll develop it together as we go forward, but just go through some of the settings. There's already quite a lot of settings here, you'll see. So I'll just briefly go through some of those and what you can do and experiment with. So you've got the zone recovery size in pips. So this is fixed size. So you've got your recovery zone size and you take profit. You've got your recovery increase factor. So is this every time you change direction, in this case, obviously you double, but you could triple if you're feeling really ambitious, or you could reduce that if you wanted to be more conservative, but standard would be 2. You can set a maximum number of trades if you want to limit it to a certain number because of margin, for instance, or something like that.
And like I said, you can, if you set it to 0, you can just let it just keep opening trades until it eventually gets you out, assuming that you've got enough margin in your account to withstand that.
That's right. So if you set it to 0, it will just keep opening trades until you either win or you run out of margin. Basically, are the 2 options with this. So if you set that to 0, now obviously you can set your own limit there. You've got the recovery take profits. So once you've taken, if you take a trade and you go in one direction and then it reverses on you and you're heading in another direction, you might not be so bothered about taking the full take profit. You just want to get out with maybe a reduced take profit or even 0 at that point.
And I'm guessing you can also put in a loss in there as well if you really want to get out, but with a minimal amount of damage, you can put, I don't know, -2 pips or something like that in there.
Yeah, it can take you out then, with, say, for instance, -5 pips if that's what you want to do. So yeah, it's just proportional really to your original profit target, and that will work. So, and then onto the meaty sort of stuff at the moment, but it is quite limited. You've got either the manual version, which I'll show in a second, or you've got the Rsi Mtf, which is a fully automated version of it, and I've got a back test to share of that as well. So you can choose between those 2 modes. Then for your zone size, you've got the option here as well to use volatility-based zone sizes. So if you want to base that on the daily ATR, here you can set that to true, and you can use a fraction of the daily ATR with these 2 settings to set your zone size. So that could be quite useful for EAs if you want to experiment with that. A few EA settings, which is the magic number that just needs to be unique from any other EA you might have running already on your MetaTrader account. So this EA doesn't close those trades on accident or anything like that. Set your max slippage in points. Trade on new bar. This means it'll only trade when a new bar opens, which is quite useful. So I generally keep those to true. You've got your Rsi Mtf settings here. So this the Rsi Mtf settings are built into the EA itself, so you don't need the indicator separately. But it is slightly different in that obviously you set your period and your overbought and oversold levels, but you select which time frames you want to look for those levels to be breached, and then for one of those time frames to come out of there. So it functions similar in the same way that the indicator does, but with slightly different coding. So it's got slightly different inputs there. So you can select the multiple time frames you want from there. The last few settings you've got here, you've got your money management settings. So you can set it as you set this to true, your account size. You can set your profit target to be a percentage of your account balance. So that's an option, or you can use the fixed lot size here and set that to false, and then set your fixed lot size here. It's also got a timer, so you can only open trades at certain times of the day. If you set this to true, and say you only wanted to open in a London session, you might set this to 6 o'clock to let's say 12, or all day you might set it to 10 o'clock. Just be sure to use 24-hour time when you use that timer, and it will only open trades within that time period. And you can also set to use local time as well. At the moment, it will always use server time. If you set that
so that's the question. So it's all based on what your broker is at the moment.
Yeah, it is. So you'll have, and this is why it's important to test these things before you use them, because different brokers, different data, different time zones will have a different effect on the EA. So make sure you thoroughly check it before you do. And then this last setting is back test to speed. So this is if you're using visual mode with MetaTrader, you might have noticed that it's extremely fast. So you can use this speed setting to slow down the EA so that you can actually watch it in action if that's what you're doing. So
very useful, that is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
perfect.
very useful. So I just click OK, and you can see we've got a very basic panel for trading in manual mode here. And if you can set your take profit and your zone sizes in pips with the fields here. And then when you feel like you know what you want to do, you can pick a direction and start to trade. The size for this is set within the EA, so you'd have to go into your properties and change at the moment, change your lot size there.
Perfect.
So whatever we do, we'll take 0.1. So which direction would you like to go in on the GU daily? So
Let's go for a buy. I'm always bullish.
so let's go for a buy. We're on the daily. I'm just going to I'll just click the buy. So you can see it's opened up the buy, the zone sizes here. We've got a buy trade and a sell stop here. They're quite close together because we're on the daily time frame. We should have zoomed down to the
That's fine. That's fine.
ones. But
And
if you,
okay, perfect.
yeah,
No, just it reminds me back on my journal when I was doing the Zone Recovery EA journal. So no, it's like I said, I've been testing this EA. You know, my personal preference is to trade this in manual mode at the moment. We are working on a few things, me and Alistair behind the scenes, and we can go through that in a second. I've just got a quick question. If you select the RSI Mtf mode, so it's a fully automated strategy. Does that the window come up where you can select buy or sell, or will that disappear?
yeah, it will come up. The panel will show, but the system will only take a trade if it's flat. So even if you could effectively take a manual trade with the MTF indicator, but it won't allow you to take the trade whilst while the EA is doing its thing. So it
Okay,
does.
so while it's in a cycle, if you're on fully automated mode, and if it's in a cycle, those buttons effectively become disabled or inactive
Yeah,
until
they
that
won't
cycle
do anything.
closes.
The same as in manual mode, it won't let you open two manual trades on the same one at
Got
the
it.
moment. Yeah.
Got it. Understand. Okay. No, looks really good. Do you want to share the back test that you put together for us?
Yeah. So I thought I'd do a back test on a pretty standard back test. So we're on the Euro USD. We back tested it was the hourly time frame with a simple overbought, oversold 70-30 with one time frame on the hourly, and we ran that for a 9-month period between the start of this year. So we're not cherry pick, we just did start of this year till September and did 9 months of that to see what it would do. And the results are here. So we made $93 of profit.
What was the lot size? Was it 0.01? So 10 cents.
This was only 0.01, so very, very small lot sizes we set up on here, which is why the profit was $93. And you can see the drawdown was 19%, 1004. So quite high. And I think if I show you the chart here, you can see what you get with the recovery zone. It's a really nice, consistent. And if you follow the green line, your equity, which is your equity curve, it's always going up. It never goes down. Now, if you're looking at the blue line, which is your balance, you just have to note you've got these big dips. Now, these look like massive losses that you take, but actually, all these trades that close here actually close at the same time. So this x-axis is in trade order, not time order. So as all your different trades as part of your recovery close, you have this sort of up and down balance view, but actually your equity is always positive, which is why it's important to follow the green line. So you can see here, in that 9-month period, there were 3 times we really got into a bit of trouble with the zone recovery on these settings. So you can see here, we got up to 1.28 lots, and to get out of this one on this occasion, we got to 0.64 lots to half that size. And again, we went up to 1.28 lots. So on three occasions, we got into real trouble with the zone recovery, which is always the risk. But for most of the time, it just made a steady, small amounts of profit all the way through the year. And only got into trouble 3 times. So, you can optimize this SOAB. You can play around with the settings, your lot size, depends on your count site, your margin, all those kinds of things to really see how you could maximize your profit with the system.
Yeah, which which to be fair, for a very basic kind of RSI overbought oversold system, how many trades was it? I think you were showing us 165 trades, and we got into trouble 3 times. But even with those 3 times, we still managed to kind of get out in profit. And as you guys know, with this system, you need volatility in this system. So I'm guessing that there was kind of a range bound kind of situation that was going on for this to take place. And
if I show, because I did run it in visual, and if I just show briefly, you can see here some of the times the price can really just bounce up and down within your recovery zone, and you can feel like you're getting yourself into quite a bit of trouble before it eventually takes you out. So it's just something to be aware of with a system like this. Is most of the time it will be no problem at all, but if you get into a bit of a choppy market, you can get stuck in a trade where it's taking a lot to get you out of that, as it does here. So the big risk here is you've got to have enough account balance or margin to be able to weather through those times when the market is really bouncing up and down within your recovery zone.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've discussed around utilizing the time when to trade, and we're thinking about putting into this EA in future releases of just trading the first hour of the London Open, because that's where the majority of the time the volatility happens during the trading day. And again, we can try to start with 0.01, and I think in the example you showed, I think we're trying to make 10 pips, I think it was, from what you showed me before we started the recording, whereas we can look to make 20, 30 pips within that. So that'd be cool. And yeah, so, Alistair, just want to thank you for firstly taking your own time to put this together for the OGT community. Really appreciate it. And I really hope that you guys that are listening, really, download the indicator. Like I said, it's absolutely free. Link is inside the description. And really would like your thoughts and comments on this EA in terms of how we can make it better, but also what automated kind of strategies we can plug into this. So we're looking for something that you feel that will hopefully not guarantee volatility, but areas of really strong volatility, so we can get out of these trades relatively quickly. Because as you've seen, and Alistair, if you just put the graph back up quickly, is that when we are, not trending, ranging, sorry, as you can see by those 3 massive kind of peaks downwards, this EA can get you into trouble. So strongly recommend that you trade this on demo, and if you are trading it live, please make sure you are trading it with money that you can afford to lose, because this is a very risky strategy, as you guys have seen from the journal that I put together. So, appreciate that, Alistair. Really thanks for that. And it'd be great if you could get involved in terms of the comments on YouTube for anyone that's got any questions or anything like that, because you're probably better placed than me to answer some of these sometimes. So really,
sure, no problem.
Yeah. So really appreciate it. So you got any questions, please leave the comments in the box down below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Thank you.